Good afternoon. Here is the world at noon. I am Temitope Olajuwola. In Nigeria, NLC launches migrant recruitment advisor to fight migrant workers. Hundreds flee as Congo's rebels near key city of Goma. Second Australian dies after South Korea Halloween crush. In Nigeria, as part of its efforts to win the war against the alarming rate of exploitation faced by migrant workers, the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has launched an online-based tool, Migrant Recruitment Advisor (MRA). The MRA is an online-based technology-driven tool that migrant workers can utilize to reduce and ultimately eliminate the exploitation and abuses that they are exposed to, experience and suffer in the course of their labor migration journey. The advisor has several features which allows migrants to report defaulting recruitment agencies as well as share their migration experience. The MRA was developed with support from the International Trade Union Confederation (ITUC) and the African Regional Organization of the International Trade Union Confederation (ITUC Africa). Speaking at the launch, NLC General Secretary Comrade Emmanuel Ubwaja expressed the Congress' readiness to continue to protect the human and labor rights of migrant workers and also contribute to efforts to defeat fragility and build resilience and stability to counter forced mobility. While declaring the event open, the Permanent Secretary Minister of Labor and Employment, Ms. Kacholum Daju, expressed the federal government's optimism that the MRA platform would further support the government's efforts to reduce incidences of irregular migration and, if possible, eliminate it. An army spokesperson in Congo, Guillaume Njike, has confirmed that fighting in the Democratic Republic of Congo between the army and M23 rebels has moved close to the key eastern city of Goma, causing a fresh wave of displacement amid diplomatic efforts to resolve the conflict. Njike stated that the M23 staged a major comeback in East Congo this year since they were chased into neighboring Rwanda and Uganda in 2013, adding that clashes picked up again in North Kivu province, ending about a week of relative calm since the group launched their latest offensive on October 20. President Joe Biden is set to persuade the world's largest economies to further isolate Russia diplomatically and economically over its invasion of Ukraine, despite a soaring global outlook that has tested other nations' resolve. In today's meeting at the Group of 20 summit in Indonesia, the U.S. leader is to continue a global tour, pressing nations to stand up to Russia and defend Ukraine's sovereignty in both symbolic and substantive ways. The G20 summit opens in Bali with a plea for unity as Ukraine war tops agenda. In opening the summit, Indonesian President Joko Widodo enthralled on the gathering what's at stake. This is the word at noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Voice of the West, Nigeria. Now, a mid-news message. Never play with the feelings of others, because you may win the game, but the risk is that you will surely lose the person for a lifetime. About 28 leading defense manufacturers from Turkey are showcasing their military hardware at a defense fair that began in Pakistan's southern port city of Karachi today. Over 500 international defense manufacturers and over 260 delegates from 64 countries are taking part in the 4-day defense exhibition, a leading defense expo in South Asia. The biennial event, billed as Ideas 2022, is taking place after a gap of 4 years as the 2020 fair could not take place due to the coronavirus pandemic. according to Major General Mohammed Arif Malik, the head of the country's Defense Exports Promotion Authority. Apart from Turkey, defense manufacturers from China, the US, the UK, European Union, the Middle East, Central Asia, and Africa are showcasing their products at the 11th edition of the fair. In October 2019, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, along with the then Pakistan Navy Chief Administrative Zafar Mahmood Abbasi, cut the first metal plates of the first Milgem Ada class corvette during a ceremony in Istanbul. Turkey is one of the 10 countries in the world which can build, design, and maintain warships using its national capabilities. Police authorities in Pakistan have disclosed that an 8-year-old boy was allegedly shot dead by a security guard outside a pizza restaurant in the city of Karachi. Local media reported that the incident took place in the upscale Clifton area of the town. According to preliminary investigations, the boy, Umar, was begging outside a restaurant and the security guard wanted to scram him away, but he didn't listen. When the boy ignored the guard's warning, he shot him twice, injuring him critically. The report further revealed that the security guard, along with a colleague, rushed the boy to a nearby hospital. However, the boy succumbed to his injuries on the way to the hospital. Instead of calling the police, the guards threw the boy's body into a garbage dump near the hospital and escaped. A second Australian has died in South Korea from injuries sustained in a horrific crowd crush at Halloween festivities in Seoul. According to reports, Justina Cho, age 28, spent 2 weeks in hospital before succumbing to her injuries. On the night of the incident, she was celebrating with Australian film producer Grace Ratchett, who was also killed. At least 156 people died when a huge Halloween party crowd surged into a narrow alley in a nightlife district. Witnesses said that people fell on each other like dominoes, screamed, suffered severe breathing difficulties, and lost consciousness whilst crammed into a sloped narrow alley. President Yoon Suk-yeol later acknowledged that South Korea lacks studies on crowd management and ordered officials to formulate effective crowd control methods based on high-tech resources such as drones. Police also said they don't have guidelines to deal with crowd surges at events that have no official organizers, like the Halloween festivities in Itaewon. And here again are the highlights of the world. In Nigeria, as part of its efforts to win the war against the alarming rate of exploitation faced by migrant workers, the Nigeria Labour Congress has launched an online-based tool, Migrant Recruitment Advisor. Army spokesperson in Congo, Guilherme Njike, has confirmed that fighting in the Democratic Republic of Congo between the army and M23 rebels has moved close to the key eastern city of Goma, causing a fresh wave of displacement amid diplomatic efforts to resolve the conflict. Also brought to you that a second Australian has died in South Korea from injuries sustained in a horrific crowd crush at Halloween festivities in Seoul. That was The World at Noon, edited by Nathaniel Oyegoke and delivered by Temitope Olayiwola. News Talk by Adeboye Popola examines the effects of the report by the World Bank experts, which puts the number of caregivers decimated by COVID-19 pandemic at over 300,000 in Nigeria.